All right, so hey, welcome to our CS Tech Jam. This is going to focus on sheets today. So we have Jackie McHugh and myself, Robert Ma here, and we are going to be talking about some of the tips and tricks to be using on Google Sheets. A lot of these features and tricks, I guess we'll call them, tools are located also in Microsoft on their products in Excel. So it's not something that's just exclusive to Google, but we're going to go ahead and use Google as our tool product today and show you how to do some stuff that hopefully make your a little more productivity increase and have a little bit more fun with Google Sheets. It's kind of funny. We have Jackie. She's a Google queen, I guess we'll call her. She was in the store somewhere the other day, and she sent me a picture of a mug that says something about, can I make a Google Sheet out of that? So that was kind of cool. So anyway, so Jackie will be engaging with us and showing us some of her cool things that she's learned. So to start off, I thought I'd just show you, maybe we'll just bounce back and forth, Jackie, just like kind of go off each other. And here, I'll show one thing, then you can kind of one up me, I guess, and we'll just kind of keep building on that.
Okay, game on.
Game on. All right, so it's like a game of dominoes or chess. Hey, a couple things we want to focus on this one. We had some folks ask, how do we attach URLs? How do we attach stuff to different cells? We'll see if we can focus on that one a little bit, hit that. And then also one request was, how do I change my cells to certain colors based upon what's in those cells? And so especially if you're getting map data or if you're getting information back into your sheet, especially with Google Form, it'd sure be nice if the computer, the sheet could change those colors or highlight certain things for you based upon the information you receive. So beats you going, and it's way better than clicking each cell. So hey, here's one for you today. So I'm up here in cell A1. This is a simple, call it smart computer. We'll call it a pattern recognition. So if I go 1 and say I want a number 1 through, let's say 25, I could sit there and type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Or I just start a pattern, and Google Sheets says, guess what? So I typed a 1 in my first cell, I typed a 2 in the next one, and I typed a 3. And then instead of typing all the way to 25, I simply get out of there, and Jackie probably knows a shorter way, but I'll just do it this way. So I got out of my 1, 2, 3, once I have it, and then I highlight the 3 cells that has a pattern in there. A simple numeric pattern. If you look at the bottom right here, we have a box in the bottom right corner. If I grab that box and just, whoa, okay. If I grab that box, let's try that again. And if I just drag it down, let's say I want to go 1 to 30 and I let go of it, boom, Google Sheets goes ahead and numbers each of my cells for me based upon the initial pattern that was given up top. So pretty cool there. Maybe you want to jump or change or comment on that one, Jackie, or what's your thoughts?
Nope. You can extend it though and show them how it automatically captures days of the week, months. It just recognizes the pattern in the first few cells.
So what we're going to do is, so right now, then I'm going to say, well, you know what, I made a mistake and I got my number 1 up there in the very first row, which means I don't have room for my headers. So here you go. I'm going to go ahead and right click on that gray cell over your number 1. I'm just going to say insert a row above it. Now I can go insert above or below. And because it's the top one, it should give me the same results. So now I just moved all my data down 1 row without copy, paste, and moving it and doing things like that. Well, let's go ahead and let's just give this a title. Let's just say, well, let's go over here. We're going to do another pattern recognition because we talked about that. If I go Monday, and if I go Tuesday, then because I want to try this pattern recognition thing, let's just go ahead and see what happens if I drag this out. What if happened if I went beyond 7 days? I wonder what it would do. Look at that. So I got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then it's starting to repeat my pattern over again. So not only does it recognize numbers, but it recognizes days of the week. So now Jackie said, data recognition. Like, why don't you go ahead and give us an example on B2 on your data recognition, like you're talking about, like for like date sheet?
I was meaning like how it automatically recognizes the data you put in for a repeating pattern.
Oh.
So gotcha. For months, like it'll also show months.
Yes. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Let's go ahead and here's another cool thing. I'm just gonna jump in there and say I want to grab this and say, you know what? I realize I want to go down to would be crazy. I want to go down to 170. So it takes it all down to actually it's 169 because I've moved my cells down one. But here's another problem you run into on checking your spreadsheet is now that I've moved below cell, let's go look here. If you look at my lowest one is 38 on my screen, but as soon as I go to the 39th cell, now my headers are all disappeared. And so if I want to enter data, I certainly know my first one's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but then I'm like, okay, there's Saturday, Sunday. So I'm starting to, I lost my headers up top. And so another really cool feature to do is if you look at up in the top corner here, you have these heavy gray lines and there's a vertical one and a horizontal one. As I hover over top of that bottom one on the vertical, sorry, that'd be horizontal this morning. So if I grab that, my hand appears there. And if I take that and I just drag that down one, now I can drag it down as far as I want, but if I move that down, is what it does then is it's going to lock my, whatever's in those cells will always be on the screen. And so now if I scroll down like I did before, you now see that I'm certainly below row 37, 38, but then my headers or my column titles are still there. So that's nice when you're entering data and you're starting to get cross-eyed and you're like, I don't know what cell that is or what my heading is, then it certainly brings it and locks it in place. So I can keep, so I know what I'm doing, I guess, vertically there. And then the same thing be true if you had names. So let's go into this. Jackie, why don't you go ahead and
I'll type some names in there.
Type some names and then maybe move column A over or something. And we'll put names in column A and we'll just wait. I'll just wait and see what you're doing.
I'm just typing random names.
Okay. I wonder what happened if you took those cells and highlighted them. Would it just like make fake names? Ooh. Or would it copy and paste? I've never tried that.
It repeats what you had.
Okay. I was hoping for like.
Because it recognizes the pattern that you have that you've highlighted. And so once you have that pattern, it just like, so it's faster than copying and pasting, I guess, as well.
True.
So were you going to show them how to freeze the pane, the vertical cells?
Yeah. So if you look at the sheet there, so Jackie's going to show you. So she grabbed that. We'll just go ahead and you can talk. I'll just chill.
Okay. So all I did was I grabbed the, it's called freezing panes. As I grabbed the dark gray vertical line and dragged it over to the side of the names. And now if you drag, I'm dragging on mine, but you can't see me dragging. But now it will lock those first two columns. Column A and column B will be locked, just like the headers will be locked. And so you can move those at any point, like to any number of cells. There's no limit.
Cool. So I can lock my pane vertically and horizontally. So if I have a huge sheet, that life is okay. Let's here's an idea. Before we create, let's link to cells. What if I had a data sheet that was just for Robert, Jackie, Ananda, Hannah, Joe? So those 5 people. So what if we made tabs down below for each of those 5 people? And then we'll link our names to each of those tabs. Maybe let's try that. Show that skill real quick.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna have Jackie do is she's gonna, for example, maybe we want Robert's information to be on its own tab, and maybe we want Jackie's information to be on its own tab or information. So Jackie's creating different sheets down below. So you see in the bottom of the screen there, she's just adding, she can do a couple things. She can copy. Here's a thought, folks, is that, and I've learned this the hard way, is that if I need multiple sheets of almost the same thing, the idea is to create yourself your master, and then you can copy that master onto another sheet, and all of your data and all your functions and all your scripting actually will be carried over to that. And actually it's a smart one because it'll actually change some of the, that's kind of getting in there, I guess, deeper sheet stuff. But just know that if you're going to have a master one and you want sheets that are identical, go ahead and just duplicate that sheet and then rename it, or you can add a new sheet.
So Rob, I think we need to clarify because we're using the word sheet a lot, like just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
So the Google Sheet is everything that is inside of this, we'll call it a master. All the tabs below, they're individual worksheets. So within a Google Sheet, you can have multiple worksheets, which are all those tabs below. And then they can link together. You can copy, you can duplicate, you can delete, you can do all kinds of stuff with each worksheet.
So if we went to, let's go to the Robert one. If we went there and I'll go there. And I just want to throw some data on there. So let's just go with, oh, I don't know. I just not very creative person. I'm just going to be really boring here and just go say, hey, guess what? Let's just put some numbers on there. Whoops. Hey, well, I like that blank. What the heck? Okay, so then that's cool. So Google recognized a blank there, and then it skipped a row. So if I want to do a header there or a different title, we do that. Anyways, we got data on that one. So why don't we demo then? Because Lori asked, or one teacher asked, well, how can I? This is one of the first linking things you can do. How do I? Can I link an item in my main sheet to a certain sub sheet? So you want to show that one?
Well, why don't you do it? Because you're sharing your screen.
Oh, yes, makes sense. Okay, so if I come up here to this cell, Robert, and say I want, whenever somebody clicks on this cell, I want it to go to the sheet down below. And the same thing for the rest of the sheets. If somebody clicks on Jackie, I want it to actually go to Jackie's sheet as well. So what we can do here is we want to, so I believe I have to highlight that cell. If I'm wrong, you're gonna let me know that, or just, so I'm gonna insert. And so I want to insert a link. So I'll come down here to the link in my drop-down menu. Now I got a couple options here in this one. I certainly can link it to a URL. I can link it to a range of cells. I only want it to go to a certain spot, but I actually want it to go to the sheet called Robert. So I hit my drop-down here, and then it lists automatically what different tabs, sorry, not tabs. Oh yeah, they're called tabs. They go to you call it a sub sheet, mini sheet. Worksheet. So I'm going to say I want it to go to Robert whenever somebody clicks on that. And then I apply that, and I'm happy with that one for now. So then Robert changes, and we'll do the same thing for Jackie here. We'll go there. We're going to insert a link. Come on now. There we go. And we want that one to go to Jackie. And then our last one is Miss Ananda. Whoa, it didn't like me. I didn't hit apply. Bad. Trigger happy here. There we go. Okay, so now what I've done is I'm able to click on any item here, and I can go right. If I click on Robert, it says, do you really want to go to Robert? I'll be, yes, that's why I clicked on it. Duh. Okay, there we go. And so now I've gone to the Robert sheet from the master, we'll call it. Is that not to confuse it? And then the same thing works in Ananda. If I click on Ananda, it gives me a drop down, says there you want to go. And now I'm off to the sheet. All right. Why don't you think about what if we, well, I guess I have to do all the demoing, huh?
Unless you stop sharing your screen.
Would you like to have sharing, right? Would you like to share yours? I'm thinking about merging cells would be cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead and give it to you, or go ahead and merge something.
Just merge something.
Merge some. Let's do this. Let's go. I'm gonna put another title on the top of this. So I'm gonna insert, if I can get my mouse to, there we go. So if I want to go and say Monday through, I'm gonna move this one over because I want that to be there. So I want to say this is week 1. So Monday through Sunday, I want to title all this and put like a header above these days of the week and call this something like, I'll call this week 1 data. And in this one, the problem I have is that I can certainly type week 1 in this cell here. Let's go back, week 1. But the problem is it's living in B1 cell and it's not carried above all these other cells. And I don't want to drag this one over, because if I drag this cell over to try to get at my header, then it all of a sudden changes and moves everything below it over, so which I don't really want that. I want week 1 to be just above everything. So then I can say week 2, week 3, etc. So the tool in Sheets, I'm going to grab the cells that I want to merge. It's called merge. And I'm going to say, let's go Monday through Sunday. And then if you look up top in your toolbox right here, there's a merge cell function, we'll call it button. And then I got a couple choices. Do I want to merge all? Do I want to merge it horizontally? Well, the answer is they're both, I think they're both the same. So I'm just going to hit merge cell. And then you see that all the walls of those cells are gone. And this is considered one big cell now. And then let's go ahead and center it. Now, this is probably basic stuff, but I'm just going to show you anyways, even though we said we're going beyond. So now I want to put a line below week 1 and Thursday, so it's aesthetically pleasing. And so there's my border. There's no underline for words for the whole cell. So there's my line for my merge cell above the days of the week. I have week 1, and then we have some data in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or this Monday, I guess. So there's an example of how to merge cells, how to freeze the panes, and how to have Google recognize patterns and to fill those patterns for you as far as you want to go on there.
Okay, so first thing, actually, I'm gonna copy this over into a few different cells so I can show a couple of things. Okay, so first thing, we always want to know like averages, and Sheets or Excel will automatically calculate the average. This it's the sum symbol, I can't touch, will automatically do it for you. You just choose average, you highlight the cells you want to average, and it calculates it for you right there. So that's nice. It will also, if you are looking for the sum, you could get the sum for those cells. Piece of cake, right? I don't know why. I don't know. There might be a situation where you want to add something up.
So,
but
really, one thing, sorry, Jack. One thing I always, and I'm glad to show it because I always mess up on that, is you had your cursor in the cell where you actually wanted the answer first. Because sometimes what I'd do is I'd highlight all my cells, and I'd go tell it I want the sum, and then I'd not know where it wanted to go.
And then it deletes it. Yeah.
So having your cursor in that cell was the trick you did there.
Yep.
Nice.
I always leave a space in between so I can see the difference, like between the data and the average. The other thing is filtering, because sometimes you want to see, well, how many, hundreds does this student have, or, whatever. So filters, and also student names. Actually, I'm going to show student names, how to filter on the first one. So all I do is I highlight the cell and go to data, create a filter. Oh, because it has a merge cell. Hold on, I gotta unmerge your week. I'm gonna filter it for everyone. Now, and when you know that the filter is active, when you see this little green triangle thing, and you click on it and say, I only want to see all the Joe. I only want to see the Joes that are in my class, or how many submissions Joe has done. I can select Joe and it'll only show me Joe's data. Same thing, if I want to select all of them, I just click select all, everybody comes back. If I want to show Ananda, Hannah, and Jackie, those 3 people will show up. So filtering is a great way if you only want to see a few things. The other thing we had talked about was conditional formatting. So that's where you can decide which colors you want to show up. So I'm going to use this data here, and I'm going to go to format and conditional formatting. And this, sorry, these pictures in Zoom are showing up. This box on the right is what's going to show up. So what I'm going to say is what color I want it to turn based on some condition. So if I'm going to say if it's greater than 95, I want it to turn green. That's going to be a lot of them. I'm going to say greater than 98. I want it to turn green. And it shows me on the left over here what it would look like. Okay. Then I'm going to add another rule. If it's less than, let's see here. If it's between 85 to 97, I want it to turn yellow. Oops, I did that wrong. 85 and 97. I want it to turn yellow. And then I'm going to add another rule. If it is less than or equal to 84, I want it to turn red. And then I'm done. Okay. So I don't know why the 98s didn't show up.
It's because you said less than 97 and greater than 98. So
there we go. Greater than or equal to.
There we go.
So now you can see the greens and yellows. If I add like a 75, oh, I didn't do those cells. Hold on. So maybe I change this to a 75. Change this one to a 70. It'll automatically change the colors, so I don't have to do anything.
Jackie, what if we had, you want to show that, or just, I guess, maybe on column E do the same thing, but set that conditional formatting up for the whole column. So if somebody adds more data later, because instead of just highlighting those cells, we can apply those same conditional formats to the whole column as you enter data later on.
Okay, so let's do that again. So I'm going to highlight the column. I'm going to go back to the beginning. Highlight the column. I'm going to go to format and then conditional formatting. And I want it to say if it is greater than or equal to 98, I want it to be green. And this is where you choose the fill color is down there. Okay. I'm going to add another rule because I want multiple colors. And if it is less, or no, I did between 85 and 97, I want it to turn yellow. Okay. And then I'm going to add another one that says if it is less than or equal to 84, I want it to be red. These are totally arbitrary numbers. Okay, I can see my conditional formatting over here on the right to check it. So now I'm going to add some values and we're going to see how it goes.
That's cool, because no matter as I import data, as I drop it there, it's going to automatically take care of all my color coding, because we applied that to the columns. You have two choices. You can apply to your column, like you did in E, or you guys can do it to a specific set of cells by highlighting just a section only.
Mm-hmm. The last thing that I was thinking is sorting data, because there's times that we need things sorted, right? So you can either sort the whole sheet or you can choose just a column based on what you're going to sort. And when you sort something, so say I choose column B, that's going to be my sort criteria. It will automatically pull over everything that is on that horizontal cell, or the horizontal line, the row with them, because the rows stick together. Columns are separate, rows stay together. So I'm just going to go to data and then sort range. If you want it alphabetically, you could just choose sort range and it's already there. If you want to customize it, you just choose sort range. If you have a header, you select that. Okay. I'm going to choose, and it's telling me week 1. The reason this is doing it is because it's not picking up Monday as a header. That's something else we can do it. But you can do A to Z, and then maybe I want to like another column. So there's situations that I can remember when I was collecting student data, I would want it sorted alphabetically by student name. And then the second column, I wanted it from like highest to lowest scores. And you could add multiple criteria. We don't have data in all of them, so I could sort it. And here we go, Ananda came up for week 1.